What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IGTV, and today I'm talking about Supergirl, the second film in the new DCU, or whatever it's called. And after how Superman went, where they had this uphill battle of re-establishing this character and working on the optics, they thought, hey, let's follow this up and do nothing of what made Superman work. I don't know why superhero movies struggle so badly when it comes to female characters. It feels like they're so self-conscious and kind of know that it's more of an uphill battle than just putting like Batman on screen. So how many examples do we have now of these films kind of pandering or overcompensating in a really obvious, needless way instead of just making a good movie? Like, do what you did with Superman, but with a woman, Superman. Like, it's not rocket science, or I guess in this case it is, because this was painful. This was actually terrible. This is not a good sign for this universe, and I thought they were supposed to be putting their best foot forward with all this talk about scripts and like, yeah, we're not going to move forward until we've got something really golden on our hands. And I heard some people before I saw this kind of comparing it to Phase 1 Marvel, but no, this is way worse than that. This is incompetent in a lot of different ways. And even the worst Marvel films, they're rarely this level of incompetent. They're more so bland, usually. It's not that this isn't bland. It's more that it's actually frustratingly bad now it's put together. Which is a shame, because all I was hearing about the comic that it's loosely based on, this Woman of Tomorrow storyline with the crypto poisoning and this loose inspiration from True Grit. It's a cool idea, and I still might read this, especially with like the color palette and the art. It's really cool looking. And this range of vibrancy and color and energy and character and personality is the complete inverse to the film, which is this gray, washed out, overly dark, hideous at points, tonally confused, cringeworthy, misguided. God, I don't think there's like a single aspect I liked about it. I'll try and think of something quick. Okay, one thing I did like, whenever she was floating in space in zero gravity, her hair looked pretty good. The visual effects on that looked decent. This was directed by Craig Gillespie, who's known for Lars and the Real Girl, I, Tonya, and Cruella. I've got to check out some of his earliest. I did see Fright Night, actually, but with these cynical, like, girl power franchise movies, the Cruella film I thought was, like, unbearable, and this isn't much different. If we're going to talk about the characters in this movie and how none of them are interesting, and let's start with our lead then, played by Millie Alcock, who's gotten a weird amount of online hate and vitriol for being ugly. Just like, come on, you fucking incels, just shut up. Oh yeah, she's hideous, man. Jesus. But as far as the character goes and like her arc, they can't find an angle to make it work. She doesn't have a hook to her in the more old school kind of Superman problem where it's like, oh, she's so strong. What, she's got laser eyes and can fly? What else? It doesn't know how to give her any texture, where that's what was cool about Superman 2025. The opening shot of the film is him losing a fight, which is immediately addressing that ongoing critique of the character and starting it in like, okay, where are we going to go from here then? And they actually take it somewhere. And it's not like the character is hopeless. It's just the type of character with her being this downbeat, traumatized alcoholic who had a slightly different experience to Superman with her exposure to the calamity of her homeworld. So to make that dynamic work, she would need some kind of contrast with another main character or villain in order to explore something a little bit deeper. The obvious answer would have been to put her with Superman. I would have been totally down to have them together and not in just a, well, no one cares about Supergirl, they need Superman for anyone to care. But on a character level, they're so different, that would be kind of interesting. Or instead they go for this, God, it's such an annoying, boring trope so many of these films do, where it's all about this 13-year-old girl who's like just as much of a main character as Supergirl. For some reason. She's supposed to be an echo of the innocence lost from the main character, but it's not explored in any meaningful way and is unfortunate because the performance is terrible from most people in the movie, honestly. But this character in particular has no screen presence, every line delivery is terrible, which means any character or actor that is bouncing off has nothing to work with, let alone with how bad the script already is. Like, the dialogue is so bad, the jokes are so bad, it's this weird parody of itself. Where back when Captain Marvel came out and everyone was making fun of the needle drops and the kind of pandering, unearned insincerity of like the endgame girl power scene that just feels like, we've got to get this in here. Because we just realized that we haven't really built up any of these female characters at all, but they're here, we promise. So it's stuck in this weird bind of like, yeah, we're setting off this new universe. Also, we're the James Gunn sequel, so we got to be funny and we got to have needle drop action scenes and an irreverence. But also, we're poisoning dogs and have a main villain that's essentially a human trafficker. just seriously dark for this film. It's not what I was expecting. And it definitely cannot balance that darkness. It goes back to those tonal problems I was getting at, where it just doesn't know what kind of film it wants to be. Because everything it attempts, it flounders and fails at. The humor sucks. The action is so bad. The blocking and editing, every single like technical element is hilariously bad at points. From like a storyboarding or just spatial awareness angle, there were moments where I was just like, wait, what? How did they get here? What the fuck is going on? How does this relate to this in this space? Like, what is with the way this moves? It's so clunky. And they keep outdoing themselves with how bad these action scenes are, where none of them have a good hook. This one, which this screenshot is from, on the bus, I thought was so fucking terrible. Where just for this one scene, they introduce these tech teleporting pirates, and it's this weirdly claustrophobic action scene that's like trying to flex and endear us to her, but she's just kind of one note and irritating. Some of the Krypton stuff's kind of interesting. I kind of feel like the film probably should have opened with this scene to endear you to her or give her some immediate characterization beyond, hey, I'm drunk and I wear a coat. And the way they keep shoving Superman in to like tease you and be like, hey, remember the good movie? And going back to its lack of identity, it also kind of wants to be this like sci-fi Star Wars creatures in every frame movie. And I guess that's another thing I could compliment. It's like there's some fun puppetry in a vacuum. Some of the creatures are kind of fun to look at in a vacuum. They don't add anything to the story. And if anything, just kind of distract to the visual cohesion or world building. Like when, I'm pretty sure Seth Rogen shows up as this little dibby and is like just making these jokes. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I guess we got Lobo, who's in like 3 scenes, has no good lines, no good action, no characterization, is just another Jason Momoa guy. He like plays the same character in every single film he's in. I'm so over him being in blockbusters. Like I can't remember the last time I liked him in anything. It probably was Game of Thrones. He's got like 0 range. Okay, yeah, it was in Dune. And even then, he's still basically playing Jason Momoa, which again is a shame. I thought this character was weird and cool growing up, watching the animated series, and the look is decent, but I don't really know what he adds to the movie outside of a desperate attempt for box office returns, because people love going to movies with Jason Momoa in some reason. And so yeah, we got our human trafficker villain, who was explained through, I wrote it down when it happened, a line where they kidnap girls to help them continue their all-male race, is how it's described. I don't know what that means, but it's a basic revenge kind of tale with the 13-year-old girl tagging along for the entire movie and adding really nothing. It just kind of makes the protagonist seem irresponsible and stupid for taking a 13-year-old girl to a group of villains who are human traffickers looking for 13-year-old girls. It seemed like at random points it was like, oh, let's just be Mad Max Fury Road for no reason. Like they're gross villains that eat slop and have their brides and tanks and vehicles driving in the sands. He like catches a tank at one point. I didn't understand anything about this character. He is the definition of a mustache twirling, blah, I'm evil, blah. They do this really clunky thing with the planet title cards whenever they hop around to different locations, where it's like this one has a red sun. This one has a green sun, or whatever, which is a part of the Kryptonian, like, lore or whatever, but the way it's communicated is so just, like, lazy and uncreative, uninteresting. I thought it was really funny how much they fucked up, like, Lobo's final line, because it really sounds like he's saying, see you later, tits. Because the ongoing gag with him and Supergirl is that he's calling her a ditz from the bar scene onwards, but a lot of the dialogue is very mumbly and hard to follow without subtitles, so it straight up sounds like he's calling her tits right before he flies off. It's like in the Super Mario Galaxy movie where everyone thought the star was saying fuck. $170 million, so this is bombing hard. Pretty sure Morbius is outpacing it. We're just too far into these movies for this to be acceptable at this point. And clearly audiences don't care. They're not connecting with it. At best, the people who are enjoying it are like, well, it wasn't that bad. I didn't really think about it the next day. Or like, I'm struggling to even remember what happened. And I saw it like an hour ago as of recording. This feels like something that should have been put on HBO Max. I don't know why this gets a full release, but like the Green Lanterns are relegated to a TV show or background side characters. When it's like, so you'll do a Supergirl movie who already is pretty unpopular and has terrible optics anyway, partially because of that 80s movie. I guess I forgot Ryan Reynolds has kind of made it his mission to make it as difficult as possible to ever put Green Lantern on the big screen ever again without hiding him in the background of a Superman movie. He jokes about that movie like every day. Oh no, I was in a bad movie and paid something like $10 million for being in it. Oh no, he made $15 million on Green Lantern. So he gets the bag and then gets to throw the whole cast and crew aside for Deadpool jokes. I'm really overthinking it, but it rubs me the wrong way, man. Point being, this is a wash. You just can't be releasing films of this quality if you want people to care about this universe. I think this whole project, the DCU, is in grave danger. Part of me from the beginning of the James Gunn Superman reestablishment has been, I feel like I have this sneaking suspicion that James Gunn just kind of selfishly wants his Superman trilogy, which we might not even get 3, but we're definitely getting the sequel, because a lot of the marketing PR stuff that he said about like the script thing and allowing every movie to have its own personality, and it's like a Clayface movie next. It's like really scatterbrain and random. So yeah, as far as our rating, I gave this a 1 star on Letterboxd. We're just so far beyond this at this point. Boring, unfunny, no creativity, inept action scenes, terrible writing, awful script. Yeah, there's very, very little I liked about this. But am I being too cynical? Let me know your thoughts on the movie if you're one of the 3 people to see it. Now doubly sucks because like I just don't care about this character now. I had an open mind at the end of Superman when she showed up. Like, oh wait, what are they gonna do with this? The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'll see you on the next video. Bye!